Greetings, dear people. What is religion? What does the words universal, apostolic, or orthodox mean? What is a denomination? Or what is a schism, or a cult? What is an ecumenical council? What faith or theological direction does the Armenian Apostolic Church have, or which Christian group does it belong to? These are questions that any person could ask to any Armenian Apostolic Christian and may not receive satisfactory or sufficient answers, especially when we often exhibit pride in being the first Christian nation. With his spiritual and mental capabilities and physical senses, the human being has the natural drive to find answers to the questions of existence and the related metaphysical phenomenon, and the urge to discover the creating power or maker of life and all the things seen and unseen. The word religion has broad meanings, but with this lesson we understand it as mainly faith and the worship system of the ultimate creative power of God, or different powers based on the respective religion. The primitive faiths of mankind evolved to organized religion, and each religion tries to provide the best answers to the human questionings and in refining man to make him reach his Creator, to God. The world religions have three major groups: monotheistic, polytheistic, and a third group which consists of agnostics, skeptics, irreligious, and atheists. With this picture, we see the major religions of the world with the approximate numbers of their followers. The polytheistic religions are on the right, and the monotheistic ones on the left. Polytheistic means having multiple or many gods. Monotheistic means having only one God, believing in one God. Polytheistic religions are Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Taoist philosophical, and also Asian or African traditional tribal religions, as well as pagan or other heathen religions or beliefs, which have multiple gods, idols, and their related belief systems. The monotheistic religions have the greatest numbers of followers on earth. These religions are Judaism, Islam, Zoroastrianism. However, the largest religion in the world remains Christianity, with its 2.5 billion followers, who are divided into three major groups: Catholic, Orthodox, and Protestant. All Christian churches belong further to two major classes. The first consists of the Catholic, Apostolic, Orthodox Holy Churches, those that were founded by the apostles and their disciples. The second class contains the non-traditional, non-apostolic, non-Orthodox churches, or the Protestant groups, which were founded after the 16th century. As we saw, the word apostolic comes from the Greek word apostoliken, which means a church founded or started by the apostles. The word Catholic or universal comes from the Greek term katholikos, made from the words kata, meaning about, and holos, meaning whole, which in this case means belonging to the universal or all Christians, and the word Orthodox from the terms orthos, which means right, true, straight, and doxa, opinion or belief, and when they are put together they mean right path or a church with correct thought. The Church of Christ was established as one holy, united, universal, apostolic, and Orthodox church, with one confession, intention, mindset, and mission, spreading into the European Mediterranean, Asia Minor, and Northern Africa, and from Spain to India. The first 3 centuries, however, were difficult, with a time full of deadly persecutions and mass martyrdoms. However, when the Church finally got its freedom from the 4th century onward, and in order to confront the early cults or heterodox movements, and to give collective, unified answers to them, convened general councils of bishops, which are called ecumenical councils in church history. As we see in this chart, the Armenian Apostolic Church is a part of the Oriental Orthodox churches, which has as members the Coptic Orthodox, the Syrian Jacobite Orthodox, Indian Malankara, the Ethiopian Tewahedo Orthodox, and the Eritrean Tewahedo Orthodox churches. These churches recognize only 3 councils as ecumenical: Nicaea in 325, Constantinople in 381, and Ephesus in 431 AD. The foundation of the doctrinal system of the Armenian Apostolic and its sister Oriental Orthodox churches are based on these 3 ecumenical councils. The Eastern Orthodox churches are Diaphysite. They recognize 7 councils as ecumenical. They include the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople, the Greek Orthodox Patriarchates in Alexandria, Antioch, and Jerusalem, the Russian Orthodox Church, Serbian Orthodox Church, and the Romanian, Bulgarian, Georgian, Polish, Czech Orthodox churches. They have 15 to 16 autocephalous and equal patriarchates and other smaller following churches. The Roman Catholic Church is the most populous church in the world, with the Roman Latin and the Eastern Catholic churches that follow it, and which recognize 21 councils as ecumenical. The Catholic Church is also Diaphysite, and we will touch upon this Miaphysite-Diaphysite issue in our next lesson. We see that these churches use titles such as Catholic, Apostolic, or Orthodox, leaving the impression that only the Armenian Church is Apostolic, or that only the Church in Rome is Catholic or Universal, or that only the Greek or Russian churches are Orthodox. But in reality, that is not true. All these 3 major groups, with their foundation, history, doctrine, and mission, are denominational. They own the same titles, founded by the apostles, which means that the Armenian Church is Apostolic, Orthodox, and Catholic at the same time, just like the others in these 3 groups. Unfortunate events caused the division among these 3 major groups, and in this age of ecumenism, these major denominations have far closer and better relations with one another than in the past. However, it's only regrettable that due to theological differences, these 3 major denominational groups do not have ecclesiastical sacramental communion with each other until today. Regarding the Protestants, they do not possess these historically doctrinal characters, since they came into existence much later, in the 16th century. They are Christian groups or churches that were in schism, or separated, or broke away from the Roman Catholic Church. Due to many exploitations in that church, the Protestant movement began in 1517 by Martin Luther, the Calvinists in 1520, and the Anabaptists in 1525 came out of the Lutherans. In 1534, King Henry VIII of England established the Anglican Church. From the Calvinists, the Presbyterians separated in 1560, and the Congregationalists in 1592. From the Anglicans, the Baptists established themselves in 1612, and the Methodists in 1787. A cult means an opposing and contorted movement, twisted or faulty teachings, or antagonistic doctrine to any world religion. From past centuries until today, new schismatic, divisive, or cult-type movements continue to be divided and made out of these Protestant churches, as well as manipulative cults and modern religious acting performance shows that carry personal business as its aim, to enslave souls and brainwash the minds in the aim of filling pockets and making money. They never attempt to reach people with the gospel of Christ through the path of the apostles, or at least in one of the hundreds of established Protestant churches. Instead, they have personal plans, capriciously established missions, and doctrine, being empty of any apostolic ecclesiastical life, holiness, or tradition. With this map, we see the approximate number of Christians in a pie chart. The Catholic Church is the largest body with its 1.2 billion faithful. Next come the Protestants with their hundreds of denominations and churches with 800 million faithful. The Eastern Orthodox have around 300 million faithful. The Oriental Orthodox with the Armenian Church included has around 86 million. The Anglicans have 85 million followers, and the cultic groups combined have around 41 million followers. The Armenian Apostolic Church, along with its sister Oriental Orthodox churches, are the oldest branch of Christianity and remain solidly faithful to their centuries-old creed and direction. The Church is the body and bride of Christ, and any church lives and survives only through the age-old patristic traditions, with faith, hope, and especially love. We should understand the dogmas of our church, its similarities and differences with all the churches, and of course other than the cults which cannot be qualified to be called even churches. Despite all the ecclesiastical, theological, and traditional differences among all the churches, the millennial wise instruction and precept of St. Augustine should rule among us all. In essentials, unity; in non-essentials, freedom; in all things, love. May God's grace be with you all. Amen.